The alarm bells screamed across Nexus Prime, the sprawling space station at the heart of the Galactic Council. The sound was like nothing Admigraph had ever heard in her for decades of service to the hegemony. 6 legs clattering against polished alloy floors. She rushed through the curved corridors toward the Grand Assembly. Nothing had ever warranted an emergency session of all 47 member species. The main chamber was already filling. Nervous tension buzzed in the recycled air as alien delegates from every corner of the galaxy took their seats. Oxygen breathers mingled awkwardly with aquatic races encased in fluid tanks. The Crystalline Collective's ambassador floated into place like a drifting star, while insectoid swarm queens twitched in tight clusters. At the chamber's front stood Zethera, commander of Council forces. The tall reptilian's posture was rigid, her face unreadable as the room's holographic center, lit with a soft hum of blue energy. "Fellow members of the Galactic Council," Zethera began. Her voice echoed through the multilingual translation, a ray reaching every ear in its native tongue. "What I am about to show you will change how we see humanity forever." Murmurs stirred. Even after 50 years in the Council, humans were still viewed as upstarts, primitive, emotional, barely. Beyond combustion engines, the display flared to life, revealing a planetary system at the galaxy's fringe. 3 massive pirate fleets orbited a barren trade hub in the Outer Rim. They had been terrorizing Council shipping lanes for months. A joint military response had been planned, but before it could be launched, something else had intervened. A single human warship had arrived. It was colossal, over a kilometer in length, angular and dark, like a blade of obsidian. Bioluminescent blue lines pulsed faintly across its hull like veins under skin. Painted on its flank were the words, UES Prometheus. "This recording," Zethera said, "was taken 6 days ago by a merchant vessel hiding behind the systems. Outer Moon, watch closely." The pirates had wasted no time. Unleashing hundreds of missiles and energy beams at the Prometheus, and then the impossible. The attacks curved around the ship. Laser fire bent like light through a prism. Missiles twisted mid-flight and vanished into open space. It was as if the universe itself refused to let the human vessel be touched. Gasps spread through the chamber. The hegemony's top researchers had spent centuries chasing that level of shielding. None had come close. Then the Prometheus struck back. Its weapons weren't beams or torpedoes. Instead, rift stairs in space opened in front of the pirate ships. Anything they touched vanished. It's not destroyed, not exploded, erased. The first Fleet 30 ship ceased to exist in under 10 seconds. The second tried to flee, but the Prometheus teleported, ignoring inertia and distance, reappearing wherever it willed. Another wave of spatial ruptures, another fleet gone. The third fleet broadcast a desperate surrender on all known frequencies. The Prometheus paused. 30 seconds, then fired again. They were erased. 3 pirate armadas, gone in under 3 minutes. The recording ended. Silence followed. The voice was grim. This single human vessel has demonstrated firepower greater than the combined strength of our entire Council fleet. Its shields defy our known physics. Its weapons do not destroy, they unmake. Our scientists believe these weapons damage the very fabric of the universe. She gestured again. The display changed to show the battle site, a region of space that looked wrong. Small tears twisted the stars around them. Sections shimmered with gravitational inconsistencies. Physics no longer applied in those pockets. Reality itself is breaking, Zethera said. It's deployed on a larger scale. Such weapons could collapse entire star systems. The room exploded in shouts. Dozens of languages collided as representatives demanded answers. The translation system faltered under the storm of voices. Then the Supreme Chancellor raised one of his 6 vine-wrapped arms. Silence fell. His voice was ageless soft, but heavy with 10 millennia of memory. This council has endured plague, war, and the death of stars, he said. But never have we faced weapons that tear at the fabric of the universe. He paused, then lifted his voice. I call for an immediate vote on resolution. 1047 Alpha. A full ban on Prometheus-class vessels and reality-disrupting weaponry. All development must cease. Existing ships must be decommissioned within 30 standard days. The vote was swift. Unanimous. All 47 member species agreed. The weapons were too dangerous to exist. But one chair remained occupied. Captain Elena Vasquez, Earth's military delegate, sat silently. A small woman by human standards, with silver-streaked hair and war-worn eyes. She hadn't spoken during the entire session. Now she rose, honored members of the council. She said in perfect galactic standard, "You are right to fear the Prometheus. It was not created lightly. Before you finalize your decision, there is something you must see." She activated her own display. Data flowed deep space monitoring logs, gravitational anomalies, and obscure energy spikes. For the past 6 months, our long-range stations have detected massive disturbances at the galaxy's edge, she said. In the void between stars, places no one dares to explore. 3 months ago, they had submitted the data to the council. It had been ignored. Several representatives looked away, calling the dismissed reports believed to be human censor. Glitches, Vasquez continued. 2 weeks ago, we confirmed the source of those anomalies. She took a breath. The Void Devourers have returned. Silence, then ripples of panic. The Void Devourers, galactic myth. Ancient destroyers said too, consume existence itself. Whole civilizations had vanished into their nothingness over 1,000 years ago. Most dismiss the tales as legend. They don't burn planets, Vasquez said. They consume reality, turn entire systems into expanding fields of non-existence. No light, no gravity, no time. She scanned the room. The Prometheus was not built to fight pirates or enforce policy. It was built with recovered technology from ruins left by the last race that defeated the Devourers. We didn't make it to conquer. We made it to survive. Zethra spoke up, her voice sharp. If they even exist, the Council's fleets can meet the threat. We are the most advanced alliance in the galaxy. Vasquez nodded to her aide. A new video began. 3 days ago, your border patrol encountered a Devourer scout ship, she said. 5 of your best cruisers engaged it. This is the recording. The hegemony ships fired everything plasma lances, antimatter warheads. Graviton implode, RS. The Devourer ship absorbed it all, then moved forward, wherever it touched the Council ships. They simply unraveled, disintegrating not into debris, but absence. Within minutes, all 5 ships and their crews were gone. They weren't destroyed, Vasquez said. They were unmade. Returned to the void before matter began. The Supreme Chancellor looked stricken. Why did we receive no report? Because there was nothing left to report, Vasquez answered. No wreckage, no records, no survivors. If not for a hidden Earth observation drone, there would be no evidence this battle happened at all. She took a deep breath. You voted to ban the only weapon that might stop them. Very well. Earth will comply. We'll decommission the Prometheus. You may face the void with your principles intact. She turned and began walking toward the exit. The Chancellor called after her. Captain Vasquez, surely we can come to an arrangement if this threat is real. She turned slowly. Her voice was cold. For months, we warned you. We offered data. We offered cooperation. You ignored us. You mocked us as paranoid, primitive, warlike. She stepped closer to the chamber's threshold. You've made your choice. You demand we disarm, then ask us to defend you with the very weapons you condemned. She paused at the door. The Void Devourers will reach the outer colonies in 40 days, the core systems within 6 months. Prepare your conventional weapons, since those are all you trust. And with that, she left. The doors hissed closed behind her. Panic gripped the chamber. Some delegates begged to reopen the vote. Others still believed the humans were exaggerating to justify their arsenal. A few began frantically contacting homeworlds. Mobilizing emergency forces, Zethra sat frozen, staring at the place where Vasquez had stood. Quietly, she began calculating logistics. Fleets. Survival projections. The math was brutal. Back on Earth, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Chen stood in the subterranean command center. Wall-to-wall displays showed the progress of Earth's final defense initiative. 3 more Prometheus-class ships neared completion in hidden solar system shipyards. Vasquez entered, dropping into a chair. "They banned it?" Chen asked Vasquez. Sighed unanimously. Then I showed them the scout ship footage. Still wanted us to disarm. Chen's expression was stone. "Then we build faster." Admiral Chen nodded grimly. Politicians never change, no matter the species. He turned to the massive display of the construction timelines. "Let them ban the Prometheus. They can't stop us from building more." Elena Vasquez looked troubled. "Are you sure, Admiral? If we defy the Council openly, they'll do what?" Chen interrupted with a bitter laugh. "Invade Earth? With what ships? In 40 days, they'll be begging us to save them." He gestured toward the central map screen. Red markers denoted the advance of the Devourer's black silhouettes crawling ever closer to populated systems. Consuming everything in their path, they think they can stop what's coming with committee votes and ethics debates, Chen said, quietly. They're about to learn the difference between political power and actual power. Beyond the walls of the underground command center, Earth's secret fleet took shape in silence. Construction crews worked non-stop under veils of stealth and encryption. The Prometheus had been the first. Now, humanity prepared to field for ships with the same terrifying capability. Whether the galaxy wanted their help or not, Earth would be ready. The only question was, would anyone still be alive to save? 6 weeks passed since the Council banned. The Prometheus Admiral Chen was sleeping less and worrying more. Hidden shipyards deep in the asteroid belt operated around the clock. Officially, they didn't exist. Thousands of workers lived aboard converted mining platforms, building weapons they didn't fully understand, technology reverse-engineered from ancient ruins. In Assembly Bay 9, Dr. Sarah Kim watched as engineers installed the most critical component of each vessel: the artifact cores. The cores resembled massive crystalline spires, glowing with pulsing blue light. They weren't composed of any known element, and long exposure gave humans headaches and strange dreams. Some claimed the cores whispered when no one else was in the room. "How many do we have left?" Chen asked, stepping up beside her at the observation platform. "This is the last one," Sarah replied. "We found 4 total in the ruins on Kepler 438b. 1 is already in the Prometheus. These 3 will complete the fleet." Chen nodded, but his frown deepened. "For ships? Against a Devourer invasion? Not just power sources," Sarah explained. "They're alive at least partially. The cores respond to human brain patterns in ways we can't explain. Once a pilot links with a core, the ship becomes ... something else." She pulled up a neural scan. Captain Torres has been bonded with the Prometheus core for 3 months now. His brain activity has changed completely. He knows where enemy ships are before sensors detect them. He senses movement light years away. "Is it safe?" Chen asked. Sarah hesitated. "We don't know." "The changes are permanent," he says. "The ship is part of him now. Sometimes he forgets he has a human body." Before Chen could respond, the emergency klaxon blared. Red lights pulsed. The AI voice echoed. "Alert. Emergency broadcast from outer colonies." Chen rushed to the AI nearest console and opened a direct channel. "Earth Command, report." A young officer's voice crackled through the static. "Admiral Weir, getting confirmed reports. The Devourers have reached inhabited space. The colony world New Geneva is under attack." Chen felt a chill crawl down his spine. 3 million civilians, ... double quotes, sir, ... There's no colony. It's gone. The line went silent. Then, our long-range sensors show nothing. The entire system has been erased. There is nothing left, no matter, no signals, no gravity well, just ... emptiness. Other reports followed rapidly. Devourer ships approaching hegemony border worlds. 6 systems reporting dark vessels. Local defense fleets are engaging, but we're losing contact. Chen shut the channel and turned to Sarah. How long until the ships are ready? She checked her pad. Titan and Nemesis can launch within 72 hours. Olympus still needs another week to complete core integration. We don't have a week, Chen said grimly. Prep Titan and Nemesis for launch. Give me Captain Torres. On a secure line, far across the stars, in the Hegemony home system, Admiral Zathera was witnessing the greatest disaster in her people's military history. 3 full battle fleets had been deployed to stop the Devourer advance near the colony of Threshold Prime. Over 200 warships. 50,000 soldiers. Battle lasted 14 minutes. Zathera watched the footage in silence. Plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, gravity bombs all deployed. All useless. The Devourer ships absorbed. Every strike like ripples vanishing into black water. Then the counterattack. There were no explosions, no damage reports, just dissolution. Hegemony cruisers faded like ash in wind. Crews vanished. Came. Blank. How many enemy ships were destroyed? She asked. None, Admiral, her tactical officer said quietly. We had no effect. Zathera's eyes locked onto the updated display. Devourer fleets continued their advance, methodical, slow, inevitable. At current speed, they would reach the Hegemony capital within 4 months. She turned to her communications officer. Send an emergency message to the Galactic Council. Request a full member session. Immediate. We must coordinate defense now. Even as she spoke the words, she knew it might already be too late. Conventional weapons were meaningless. They needed something else. Something like the Prometheus they had banned. And now, they might have doomed them all. The council chamber was in chaos. Representatives from dozens of species hurled accusations while their home worlds burned. The One-Sprout Synthesis Collective had attempted diplomacy with the Devourers, dispatching an entire fleet in hopes of peaceful contact. The response had been swift and absolute. The diplomatic ships, every last one, were erased from existence in seconds. The humans created this. The Swarm Queen speaker hissed through her translator. Her wings trembled. With rage, they built the Devourers to force us to accept their banned weapons. It's absurd, said a representative of the Crystallan. Humans barely possess interstellar capabilities. How could they create a force that erases matter itself? Supreme Chancellor Valdris raised his many arms for silence. Though ancient, his voice carried undeniable command. The origin of the Devourers no longer matters, he said. What matters now is how we stop them. Our weapons have failed. We must consider new strategies. A holographic display flickered to life. Red zones marked areas where the Devourers had passed. Nothing remained. Ow! Yellow zones blinked in real time as systems came under attack. The pattern was clear. The enemy was moving with chilling coordination toward the galaxy's most densely populated regions. The humans warned us this would happen, Admiral Zathera muttered. Captain Vasquez showed us the sensor data. We didn't listen, because their technology is primitive. The Swarm Queen countered. Their sensors can't detect what ours cannot. And yet Zathera said coolly, they were right, and we were wrong. The Chancellor swept his gaze across the chamber. Many seats were now empty. Entire delegations had vanished, their homeworlds consumed by the void. Does anyone have an alternative solution? He asked grimly. No one answered. For all their pride, for all their centuries of advancement, the council species had no idea how to fight an enemy that unmade reality itself. Finally, the depth swimmer representative bubbled through his liquid translator. We could ask Earth to deploy the Prometheus, request their help. Absolutely not, the Swarm Queen snapped. We cannot reward defiance. If we bend the rules for humans, every primitive species will claim the same right. Zathera's voice was colder now, and if the Devourers consume the galaxy, there will be no council left, no laws, no rules. Debate raged on, but nothing was decided. The council, paralyzed by pride and bureaucracy, stood still while their stars died. On Earth, deep within the neural interface chamber of the UEES Prometheus, Captain Torres sat in the central chair. Cables ran from the walls, connecting his body directly to the alien core buried in the ship's heart. When the interface activated, Torres ceased to be entirely human. His mind expanded awareness, stretching through every conduit, every panel, every quantum fold of the hull. He felt the ship, its systems, its pulse, its hunger. The alien technology recognized him, not as commander, but as partner. But the cost was rising. Each session left Torres more detached. Human memories slipped away, replaced by echoes of ancient wars, fought by species long extinct. Sometimes he forgot the names of people he loved, or the sound of his own voice. "Captain Torres," Admiral Chen's voice came through the comms. "We need Prometheus deployed, immediately." Torres blinked. When had he closed his eyes? "What's our objective, Admiral?" "The Devourers have breached inhabited space. Multiple systems are falling." "Council fleets are ineffective. Authorization to engage?" Torres asked. There was a pause. "Not officially." "What?" "The ban still stands. But people are dying, and we're the only ones who can stop it." Torres disconnected, rising slowly. Even without the interface, he could still feel the core like a second heartbeat in the back of his mind. The Prometheus wanted to fight. The ship remembered the Devourers. It had fought them before, and it had won. How long until Titan and Nemesis are ready? "Titan will be operational in 6 hours," Chen answered. "Nemesis needs 12 for core bonding." Torres didn't hesitate. "We can't wait. Every hour means more systems consumed." "I'm launching now. Can you handle a Devourer fleet alone?" A grim smile crept onto Torres' face. Through the core, he could see the approaching enemy moving through space like holes in existence. But he also understood something new. "They're not as unstoppable as they seem," he said. "They draw strength from the void between realities. But the Prometheus core comes from the same place. When we engage, it's void versus void." He strode toward the bridge. The ship stirred in response, ancient systems, waking like a predator. Sensing prey, "Tell the Council they can keep their ban," Torres said. "We're going to save their galaxy whether they want us to or not." A ripple of distorted space-time engulfed the Prometheus. In an instant, it vanished from Earth's system. Behind it, 2 more ships prepared for launch, crewed by humans. Ready to sacrifice their humanity for a galaxy that had turned its back on them. The real war had begun. The Prometheus dropped out of faster than light. Its travel on the edge of the Kepler system where the hegemon's last defensive line waited. "Captain?" Torres stood at the bridge, neural interface still humming inside his skull. The Prometheus core pulsed with anticipation. He could feel the distortion ahead. The Devourers were close. 3 hegemony battle groups held orbit around Kepler's outer planets. Their formations were textbook perfect tactics that had worked for centuries, but Torres could already see the truth. Those tactics were worthless now. The Devourers weren't an enemy. They were a plague on reality itself, feeding space and time like rot. A transmission crackled in. "This is Admiral Zethera, 3rd Fleet. Unknown vessel. You are entering a restricted military zone. Identify immediately." Torres opened a channel. "Captain Torres, UEES Prometheus. We're here to assist." "Oh, yes." There was a long silence. Then, disbelief. "The Prometheus is banned by Council law. You are ordered to withdraw." "With respect," Admiral Torres said, "your fleet is about to be destroyed. Let us help." "We do not need help from humans," Zethera said coldly. "Our forces can handle this." Torres sighed and ended the transmission. Through the ship's sensors, he saw them. 12 Devourer, vessels each the size of a moon. They moved slowly, but each step forward left behind a trail of annihilation. A black path carved into the fabric of existence. The hegemony fleet opened fire first. Thousands of energy. Bolts and warheads lit up the void, crashing into the enemy with enough force to tear planets apart. It made no difference. The weapons disappeared, absorbed like drops into a bottomless ocean. The Devourers didn't even flinch. Then came the counterattack. They didn't fire beams. They unmade space itself. Tendrils of darkness lashed out, and wherever they touched, warships vanished, not destroyed. Not damaged, just gone, erased like ink from a page. Torres watched as an entire battle group of 50 ships simply ceased to be. Less than a minute. That's how long it took the hegemony formation to break. Ships scattered in every direction, commanders abandoning their posts in a desperate bid to escape the advancing void. But it was hopeless. The Devourers moved through space with a fluidity that broke the laws of physics, flowing between folds of reality faster than any vessel could flee. All ships retreat to fallback positions. Admiral Zetheris' panicked voice broadcast on all channels. Request immediate reinforcements from the home fleet. But Captain Torres already knew the truth. No reinforcements would help. Traditional weapons were meaningless against the void. Only the Prometheus, built on ancient knowledge, stood a chance. Computer, Torres said calmly. Lowering himself into the neural interface chair, take us into battle. Full core connection. The moment the link activated, alien power surged through him like a tidal wave. His thoughts expanded, flooding every system of the ship, fusing man and machine. The Prometheus awakened its core, whispering in forgotten tongues. Ancient memories unfurling like star charts, etched in time. The engines roared with dimensional force as the ship accelerated toward the Devourer fleet. Reality twisted around them as the Prometheus folded through impossible vectors, the whole shifting between substance and energy. Flickering across dimensions, one of the Devourers turned to meet the human vessel. A lance of utter nothingness speared out reality, peeled away in its path. It had erased dozens of ships with ease, but not this one. When the void beam struck the Prometheus, it halted as if hitting an invisible wall, not deflected, not absorbed, neutralized. The ancient systems of the Prometheus canceled the void. Restoring space where none should exist, Torres could feel the ship's weapons waiting. Lock target, he murmured. Fire, a beam of pure creation erupted. From the Prometheus, light and form made real. It wasn't just energy, it was existence weaponized. The Devourer vessel screamed in silence as its hull cracked open. For the first time, one of them took damage. Reality fought back, and reality won. The rest of the enemy fleet reacted instantly, turning toward the threat they had not faced in eons. From the wreckage of war, surviving hegemony ships stopped their retreat to watch the impossible unfold. Admiral Zethera stared at her displays. "How is this possible?" she whispered, but it was beyond her people's comprehension. The Prometheus was not a ship. It was a relic of a forgotten war, a weapon forged by a civilization that had fought the void when the universe was young. Torres moved with inhuman precision, guiding the Prometheus through space like a phantom, phased between dimensions, reappearing to strike with creation energy, vanishing before the Devourers could respond. But they were learning. Beams of nothingness lanced from multiple angles. Even the Prometheus couldn't block them all. One hit struck the port side. A section of the hull vanished. Torres convulsed in the chair. He felt the damage in his mind. The neural bond made the ship an extension of himself. He screamed as his human memories were consumed by the attack, replaced by alien knowledge, universal truths, not meant for any living brain. "Warning," the ship's AI said. "Hull breach. On deck 7. Reality, instability, detected." Torres forced himself to focus. "Computer," he growled. "Prepare the quantum lance. Target the lead vessel." Quantum lance was their deadliest weapon. Rip in spacetime itself, too. Use it. Torres had to merge deeper into the core than ever before. Risking what little humanity he had left, as the lance charged, his mind opened further. He saw the galaxy, not as a map, but as a living thing under siege. Hundreds of Devourer fleets moved like a tide, consuming the stars. And beyond them, in the silence between galaxies, something stirred. The Null Emperor, a being of pure entropy, an ancient consciousness that sought to return all of existence to the void. It had awakened. "Captain Torres," Admiral Chen's voice broke through the static. "We're detecting massive energy buildup. What's your status?" Torres struggled to remember how to form words. Finally, His voice emerged twisting with alien harmonics. "The lance is ready, firing now." The quantum lance fired. A beam of space-time rupture, white-hot with creation, tore into the lead devourer. Creation and destruction collided, two opposing absolutes in direct contact. The devourer didn't explode, it unraveled, deconstructed. Back into primordial form, the others hesitated, drick-oiling. Their coordination shattered. On nearby ships, hegemony crews cheered. The impossible had happened. The void had been turned back, but Torres knew better. This was only a skirmish attention. "All hegemony vessels," Torres broadcast. "Evacuate your forces. More fleets are coming. Your weapons will not stop them." Admiral Zathar's voice came through. "Captain, what are these weapons? How? How did you do that?" Torres paused. "The weapons aren't what matter. What matters is, this Earth was willing to break your laws to protect innocent lives. Even when you banned us." He cut the channel. Two more human ships, Titan and Nemesis, arrived. Phasing in beside the Prometheus, their captains, Rodriguez and Williams, were no longer fully human either. They too had merged with their cores. And they too were ready. For war, in the medical bay, Torres floated, covered in neural cables. Dr. Sarah Kim watched his vitals disturbed. "His mind is changing," she whispered to Admiral Chen. "Parts of his memory are gone, replaced by something alien. Speaks in languages we've never heard before. Is he still functional?" Sarah looked into Torres's eyes, so intelligent but so distant. "He commands like no human ever has. But I don't know if Marcus Torres still exists." Torres turned to her. "The cores are more than machines," he said. "They are fragments of the universe's will. When we bond with them, we become part of that will." "Do you remember your family?" she asked softly. "I remember. The idea of family," he said. "But such attachment seems so small now." Sarah's heart sank. The man she knew was almost gone. "Can we reverse it?" "Why would I want to?" he replied, honestly confused. "I see the movement of galaxies. I understand reality. Why return to blindness?" Before she could answer, alarms blared. The devourers were coming again. Torres sat up. His body moved with unnatural grace. "The Null Emperor is sending his heralds," he said. "They must be stopped before they reach inhabited systems." Out beyond the rim, Prometheus, Titan, and Nemesis met in deep space. Enemy contacts appeared 12 massive ships. "Larger than anything before, they're not ordinary devourers," Torres said. "They are heralds, servants of the Null Emperor. Each one carries the power to erase a star system." Captain Rodriguez's voice crackled through. "Comes. We stop them?" Torres reached deeper into the core. He felt time stretch, space ripple. He looked upon the approaching darkness and whispered, "We have two." The coldness of the approaching darkness sliced through Torres's mind like ice. "Not with our current firepower," he said quietly. "But there is another option." He turned to Dr. Kim, who had followed him to the bridge. "Sarah, how long to initiate?" "A simultaneous overload of all three cores?" She froze, her voice cracked. "Marcus, you can't be serious." "That would create a cascade. The explosion would tear a hole in space-time big enough to send the heralds back into the void," Torres finished. "And it would cost us everything." "That's suicide," she whispered. Torres's eyes held the calm weight of civilizations long gone. "Sometimes victory demands sacrifice, but not today. We'll find another way." The 3 ships, Prometheus, Titan, and Nemesis formed up in tight formation as the Herald fleet arrived. Each Herald brought a swarm of Devourer escorts. The humans were outnumbered 40-1, but the captains no longer thought like humans. Their minds operated in part within the cosmic domain. It's the same realm from which the ancient cores had come. The battle began with no warning. The human ships moved first, slipping through folds in reality. Distorting space-time as they flew, the Prometheus appeared inside the enemy formation, unleashing creation energy point blank. Titan twisted gravity itself, collapsing entire enemy wings into singularities. Nemesis washed the battlefield in matter reformation fields, turning void-touched hulls back into crumbling metal, but the entropy heralds struck backfiring beams of temporal dissolution, trying to erase the human ships from history. Fields of conceptual void assaulted the very idea of existence. Each attack felt like being erased from every level of thought. Only the bond with the ancient cores kept the captains coherent. Torres winced, mind burning. We cannot win like this. He sent across the link. Initiate deep core synchronization. Marcus, no, Sarah pleaded. It's theoretical. We don't know what it will do. It will make us what we must become, he said. The three captains activated the protocol, plunging deeper into the cores than ever before. Their identities dissolved, merging into a collective intelligence that spanned 3 ships and untold dimensions. Together they moved as one. Their weapons struck in perfect harmony, binding heralds in lattice of crystallized spacetime. One by one, the heralds fell cast back into the void. When the battle ended, the ships drifted silently. The captains reformed their individual selves, but they were not the same. The Null Emperor knows now, Torres said grimly. He will come. And when he does, we must be ready. Back on the Galactic Council station, the aftermath stunned all. 12 of the oldest species had lost their homeworlds. Yet the humans had stood where no one else could. Supreme Chancellor Valdris spoke softly. It is time we request Earth's help. Whatever the cost to our pride, the vote was unanimous. 2 days later, Valdris arrived on Earth personally. Admiral Chen met them underground beneath a command center filled with data on the incoming threat. The Council formally requests Earth's aid, Valdris said. We will lift all restrictions. Anything you need. You're too late, Chen replied coldly. While you debated, half the galaxy burned. Our captains sacrificed their minds to save civilizations that called us criminals. Please, Valdris said. Billions more will die without your help. Dr. Kim stepped forward. This isn't about pride anymore. The Null Emperor is coming. She activated a hologram. Something unimaginably large moved through the void between galaxies, warping reality in its wake. It's the size of a solar system, Sarah said. It won't just destroy us. It will erase the concept of us. How long? 72 hours, maybe less. Then we do this the human way, Chen said. No committees, no votes, no politics. We act, agreed, Valdris replied. What do you need? Every ship you have. Not for combat evacuation. When the battle starts, anyone still here will die. The next 70 hours were chaos. Thousands of worlds evacuated. 3 ships prepared for the final battle. Torres remained in full neural merge. His body was now just a vessel for cosmic consciousness. Marcus, can you hear me? Sarah asked softly. He opened his eyes. She shivered. They were stars, not eyes. I hear the scream of the void, the birth of galaxies. All of it. Do you remember? Earth? Being you? He searched the cosmos in his mind. ... I remember. ... Warmth. Connection. It was beautiful. You could let someone else take your place. There is no one else. Only we 3 went deep enough. We are what we were meant to become. Stood radiating purpose. But do not mourn. We are not dying. We are becoming. The Null Emperor arrived. Stars extinguished not from supernova, but from negation. Space turned into absence. The human ships took position at the galactic core. Behind them, the last refugees fled. Core synchronization, initializing, Torres said, we're not here to destroy it. We must convince it. This galaxy is too well defended to consume. Rodriguez and Williams responded, voices no longer bound by human limitation. The Emperor emerged. Reality screamed. It was entropy incarnata, a storm of unbeing. Planet simply ceased. The Prometheus, Titan, and Nemesis fired beams of creation. The Emperor recoiled, startled, then a counterattacked void so deep it tried to erase hope. Memory, identity itself. Torres held firm. Barely. It's too strong, Williams gasped. We're unraveling. Then we go deeper, Torres answered. Final. Protocol. Cosmic source merge-activated. The captains let go. Their identities collapsed. They became instruments of the universe itself. Their ships phased beyond space. Their weapons firing not matter or energy, but the very force that shaped reality. They fought the Emperor in the realm of concepts, defending ideas like heroism, sacrifice, and existence itself, and impossibly, they began to win. The ancient weapons tore through the Emperor's form. Its final act was to erase the very idea of resistance. The captains countered, projecting their souls to shield that concept. They were destroyed as individuals, but the idea lived. The Null Emperor, wounded and repelled, withdrew. The threat was over. The ships hung in silence. Torres opened his eyes one last time. Sarah stood in the control room. "Tell Earth we succeeded," he whispered through cosmic static. "Hope and heroism will survive." And then the three ships faded, not destroyed, but translated into eternal sentinels in the void. The galaxy was saved, but scarred. Its entire sectors were still void. Earth was hailed as protector feared. Revered Dr. Kim stood alone in the neural chamber of the Prometheus Memorial Station. A new generation trained to bond with rediscovered cores. "Will we remember who we were?" a cadet asked. Sarah smiled. "The important things: love, sacrifice, the will to protect others. Those live on in the Guardians, and sometimes at the edge of perception. In the quiet of space, blue lights flickered in the void, the Guardians watching, waiting forever.